Bills cannot beat KC in the postseason. And like to some degree, I always feel bad for Buffalo. Their fans' enthusiasm is amazing. You just kind of want to see Josh Allen be able to get this monkey off of his back. But like this game to me was just holy shit, it's right there for you guys. Like all
It always is.
like gifted. In this situation, like I mean the Hardman, which I have to I think it's this. Yeah.
I was tweeting about this live.
Like this is the
He's
stat
worse.
line.
He's worse than Tony, and he's worse than Kadarius Toney. There's no, like he is not nowhere near the player Kadarius Toney is. You can hate on Tony all you want. He's nowhere near the player. Nowhere near. Not as good of a route runner. Doesn't have the same hands. Doesn't have the same separation ability. Doesn't have the same after the catch ability. He's nowhere near the same player. So once Tony gets healthy, expect Mecole Hardman to be right back out of it.
Yeah, and so the reason I show that is because Hardman fumbled into the end zone, gifting the Bills a
on
possession.
First and goal. First time.
I mean, there were so many opportunities for the Bills to really pull away here, and they did not take advantage of it. And I don't think this time it was on Josh Allen. You know, I would be the first person to be like, oh, Josh Allen was playing reckless, blah, blah, blah. I don't really think like that was the case this time around. I think Josh Allen played a pretty clean game. I just think cohesively the team did not rise to the occasion in the moments that you need to against Kansas City. You have to in order to
John,
beat them,
what did the DeMar Hamlin fake punt remind you of?
Oh my God. That was so good.
Dan Campbell, right? It's dumb shit like that loses you a game. You're the better team than Kansas City. You have been for the last 10 weeks, without a doubt. Buffalo's favored in the game. You're at home, and you do some bullshit act of desperation like that. Like, that was it. That was right. And I get that Kansas City didn't capitalize. I get that, like, 3 plays later, Hardman fumbles into the end zone on first and goal. But if the Chiefs score there, which 90% of the time they do, this game's over. They go up 10 in the fourth. It's over. Right? Yeah. So, like, the Bills, you could talk about their opportunities to separate, but the Chiefs had plenty of opportunities to separate as well and make this score much, much bigger than it was. Patrick Mahomes is inevitable. Why do we have this? Why do we even have this debate, John? Why do we even, like, when you laughed at me when I said that the Chiefs are going to figure it out, and I mean, you're not the only one. You read the comments on the post that I was making about it.
Let's pull it up.
Everyone's laughing. Yeah, play this.
I got to stop sharing real quick so we got the audio. 1 second. Sorry.
This was, I think, 7 weeks ago, by the way.
Put me all you want. Bookmark this and come back later if I'm wrong, which I don't think I will be. But the Chiefs will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl this year, and they'll most likely be playing against the 49ers. They have drop problems. Mahomes hasn't looked the same. Kelce hasn't looked the same. The reality of the situation is simple. If they fix the drop problems, if the chemistry gets better on offense with the receivers and with Mahomes, if they continue to grow their running game, if their defense continues to play the way that's been playing, this is the team that's going to represent the AFC. I don't trust the Dolphins. I don't trust the Ravens. There's a lot of, the Bills could be dangerous, but there's a lot of these mediocre AFC teams that are fighting to get in. And these Chiefs I just am not going to bet against Mahomes. Bookmark it, come back later, make fun of me all you want, but the Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl.
A lot of bookmarks on that. I'm going to run this back so we can take a look at some of the comments. And you can see, as much as I hope this is to be true, don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's their year. Defense can't hold teams the whole game. And there's people that did agree with you. And, I think there's a lot of KC fans showing up and saying, man, I hope you're right, but I don't think you're going to be right. But I think a lot of people bookmarked this with the idea that they're going to come back after KC loses and talk some shit. And that has not happened yet. So,
John, let me read you something too. Okay.
Hold on. This is an all timer right here. Oh, wait, hold up. I stopped sharing again, didn't I? Brutal.
Is this Mahomes?
No.
Let me do my Mahomes-related stat, and then you can do... I know what you're going to pull up. So let me do my Mahomes stat first, and that is the stat I'm going to read, actually, that you just pulled up. So you got 13 playoff wins. He's not 30 years old yet. 13 playoff wins for Patrick Mahomes. No one's ever done that before. He's undefeated in the divisional and wildcard round. Let me say that again. He's never lost a divisional or wildcard playoff game. All right? He's been a starter for 6 seasons now. 6 starting seasons, 6 straight AFC Championship appearances. Every year he's been a starter, he's gotten to the semifinal round of the playoffs. He took a team that had the highest wide receiver drop rate since the 0-16 Browns.
That's the most insane stat.
To the AFC Championship game. There's nobody in the same realm of him. There, you can talk about Burrow, you can talk about Allen, you can talk about Lamar. Nobody is in the same realm as this dude. He's on a place of his own. He is on the trajectory to catch up to Tom Brady. And it's not crazy to say that. It's absolutely not crazy to say that. This guy just does things that we've never seen besides Tom Brady. And every time this guy's an underdog, he's 8-1 as an underdog. Flat out. 8-1 as an underdog. The guy doesn't lose. When this guy's an underdog, it's laughable because he really should never be. It's like the Michael Jordan, Tom Brady effect. Like this guy changes spreads of games because of who he is. If he wasn't on the Chiefs, the spread of this Ravens-Chiefs game would be 13. It's 3.5. It's just that's the factor that he has. This Ravens team looks better in every single measure that you can find, and yet here the Chiefs come, and they're a game away from going to the Super Bowl, like I said 8 weeks ago. And the reason I had that take is because this is what he does. He just finds a way to win games. It wasn't always pretty. You know, the things that I said happened. Kelce figured it out. The drop problems are better. Rashee Rice became a legitimate receiver threat for them.
Rashee Rice.
And that's all it took. The defense has done their job, stayed good all year, right? Spags threw a lot of confusing things at Josh Allen, held the Bills to 24 points, right? You're not going to shut down Josh Allen. You're not going to shut down Lamar Jackson. But what you can do is limit him, force him to do a couple things that he wouldn't normally do. And that's all it takes when you have this guy at quarterback on the opposite side of the football. So the Chiefs are very dangerous. If you're a Ravens fan, you shouldn't feel great about it. You should be worried.
And then
Jason Kelce.
I mean, dude, happy retirement. That's all I got to say.
He's not retired officially yet, John.
Not officially. You're right, but I think that's what's going to happen. He is a staple of the NFL that I think people didn't talk about enough until the Kelce started getting obviously a lot more attention between their podcast and Taylor Swift. This dude, hammered, jumps out of a suite, chugs a beer, introduces a little girl holding a sign to Taylor Swift behind her, and then verts himself back into the suite. I mean, dude's a legend. I think everybody should try to live their life as Jason Kelce attempts to live his life.
How many people can steal the show from Taylor Swift? There's no one.
Man.
There's no one that can.
This man right here.
I mean, not only that, but if you're a Bills fan, it's bad enough having Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's bullshit come into your stadium and beat you. And Kelce had 2 touchdowns, played great. That's bad enough because he's done that to you before in the past, and now he brought Taylor Swift with him. Now he brings his brother with him doing this, shotgunning beers with the fans. And, that if you're a Bills fan, the Kelces came in and robbed you blind. They took everything you've ever dreamt of and wanted, and they walked in and they just said, yeah, we're better than you. I would hate the Kelces. If I'm a Bills fan, I would hate the Kelces right now more than any. If they did that to Detroit, if they walked into Detroit and did that, I could never forgive them.
It is unreal, the mojo that those two brothers have around them this season especially, but really in general. I mean, the podcast, the sexiest man vote, obviously Travis dating Taylor. There is something around the Kelce family that is probably impossible to replicate. Probably should be studied by scientists.